Another game the wolf plays. Well, there's many. I'm just focusing on two right now. The other game is extreme intensities like hot and cold. This messes with your mind and your body's natural rhythms. It scrambles your internal feminine compass to point to south as your authentic self instead of true north. This is a trauma bond. It's how he emotionally glued himself to you. I've got to make a noise here because that's how I feel when I say it. Ugh. You experience fireworks and a profound level of connection, or at least you think it's connection. There's a visceral feeling of excitement caused by sparks in your belly region. We mistake this feeling as butterflies. In the beginning, that's how you know you are accepting the fake romance, the fairy tale. But then afterwards, the intensity disappears to that bare minimum effort in his actions with you. Despite intentional, super strong interest in you, like off the charts interest, he's dwindled his investments to nothing again. Like the tide that has come in deep and strong and then ebbs back to nothing, leaving the sand to dry out. A wolf is trying to keep you emotionally and physically addicted through the back and forth emotions of everything then nothing. The reason he can do that in the first place is because there is an empty spot inside your heart that needs healing because it's always empty. So this strategy can be employed against you ad nauseum. Now, you'd think the solution is for him to stop hurting you so that you don't hurt, right? That if you could just get him to see what's happening and how much he's hurting you, he'd stop. You assume he's orienting from the same position as you, ignorance or woundedness, and if he knows the truth, things would get better. He's not. Your default is God. His is not. He does know exactly what he's doing. He's not a healthy husband who made a bad choice and sinned against you because he's emotionally bruised or broken or wounded. He's an evil man, intentionally choosing to hurt you. That's why the solution is within you. It has nothing to do with him. You've got to ask yourself why this connection feels so good in the first place. Why do you need his connection so desperately? Why am I depending on another person to do this for me? Man, a healthy man will add to your life, not make it possible for you to live your life. That's your job, you and God. That void you feel is where you'll discover the talents that God originally placed inside you. The talents that are your particular bent. I talk about what your bent is and where it was supposed to come from in the video I called Authentic Femininity Part 2. The thing you've got to understand is that the wolf didn't create the space for the trauma bond to exist. That void was already there inside you. A predator just sees the void and knows how to maneuver his trauma bond into it. That void in you is empty, right? It's a lack. It's an unmet need, not a want or a desire. It's an unfulfilled female creature need. You've had it for a long time. That's why when any kind of attention is dropped into it, it feels good inside you. Even if that attention is from someone like a wolf, it still feels good. You just didn't know that this particular fill-up of attention that you are receiving and enjoying like a piece of yummy chocolate cake is part of a game he's playing. Let's say you've been walking in the desert for 5 days, no water or food, and you finally see someone walking towards you with a tray of food and a pitcher of ice cold water. Wouldn't you accept? You're not focusing on the person. You're focusing on the thing that you need. You're about to die, right? You need food and water. The thing you need so desperately and have never had is being handed to you by Charles Manson. But to you, and that's key, to you, what he's offering makes him look like the hero Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible. It's the past deprivation of the exact substance that you needed to survive. That is what is making you blind and stuck. The unmet need is the very thing that's blinding you to the reality of the truth of the giver of that sustenance. The wolf doesn't make you blind or gullible. He just recognizes the person wandering and stumbling who is in desperate need of it. So the sustenance that's normal for every female is going to be used against you as bait. It isn't your fault. We were created for connection, but somehow, for whatever reason, that's missing inside of you. The fact that you're trapped by his trauma bond is the proof of it. So the hard part is that even though it's not your fault, it's going to be your responsibility to fix. The beginning of taking that responsibility is to direct your energy inwards. So you take your focus off whatever it is that he's offering or whatever it is that you want to receive from him that you thought you were going to be receiving, and instead see where it's not landing inside you. We get so focused on getting that void filled in. You've been focusing on the wrong thing. You've been focusing on your husband, making it his responsibility to fill that void. It's not his responsibility to fill it or heal it. That's what we try and do. By allowing that sliver of time to emerge, you get to see where the void is inside you. You'll be able to feel it because your husband won't be part of that equation anymore. Discretion and grace actually hold that space open for you. When your heart begins to heal, you can enjoy the attention from a man without needing it. That's the key. Femininity wants to be seen by masculinity. That's normal and healthy. It's a need by design. Being seen means your healed heart enjoys connection from him. And that's very different than starving for affection and needing desperately to be seen so you can feel alive, craving to be validated to feel worthy.